Hello everyone, I'm Maria and welcome back to my Nook. In today's video, I want to show you my 2023 reading journal. And first up, for all the people that are watching this video right when it comes out, I am so sorry that it has taken me this long to film my 2023 reading journal flip through because it is already February of 2024, but life has just been so busy lately and I barely find time to read as much as I want to, which obviously makes it kind of hard to film videos about books and what I'm reading if I'm not reading as much. This probably makes some sort of sense, I hope. But I just really wanted to film this reading journal flip through at some point at least, because I did a reading journal flip through for my reading journal of 2022 and I wanted to do the same thing for my 2023 reading journal for the memories pretty much, and to kind of keep all the years saved in video format as well, if that makes any sense. But yeah, better late than never, that is my motto at the moment. And to be honest, I only recently finished the very last spread in my 2023 reading journal, so... But anyway, let's talk about the reading journal. This is an A5 reading journal from Dingbats. This one is from their wildlife collection. It is the wolf one. I don't quite remember if the color was described as cream or yellow on their website. It's got dot grid paper, but I think you can choose different kinds of papers like lined paper, dot grid paper, whatever. And other versions of this come in different colors with different animals. I have been using this since September 2022 and I filled in a complete journal for the entire year of 2022 from January to December. And now I've also filled in a complete journal for the entire year of 2023 into this as well. And I do think it might fit 2024 as well. So right off the bat, 2023 was my first year of journaling in which I actually did the journal spreads like in real time basically, because as I already mentioned, I started this journal in September 2022 and then I basically did all of the spreads for like January, February, March, etc. after the fact. And 2023 was the first year that I actually did most of the spreads, at least in a kind of timely manner, close to the time that they actually were meant to be for. But that being said, I still made mistakes. I still did things that I don't like anymore. I still figured things out and I still did things in my 2023 reading journal that I now know I want to do differently in my 2024 reading journal. But without further ado, let's first light this candle right here and let's hope I'm not going to set my reading journal or this coffee table alight during this video. And let's flip through my reading journal, shall we? So first up, this reading journal opens on this cover page for 2023, and the quote says, "Between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be." I actually really like this quote, and I'm also kind of happy about this cover page. I do think I would do the numbers differently if I redid them now, but I'm still kind of happy with this cover page, and the candle is already kind of going out. That's fun. The next 2 pages, that's my 2023 reading goal / book tracker. And my goal for 2023 was 24 books, and I surpassed that goal on June 26th. which is why I did the little square for the 24th book a bit differently and then continued to do all the rest of the squares in different colors, just to see that like these are all the books that contributed to my actual reading goal, and these are all the books that were just like extra bonus books, basically. As you can see, there's a lot of extra space. I don't know what I was thinking doing this on 2 pages, because I do not read that many books in a year. But I did it, and now there's that much extra space. I also don't know what I was thinking with the washi tape on the top right there, but it's fine. Next year I'll probably do this reading goal tracker thing on just 1 page and like squeeze the squares together a little bit, because I don't see myself reading that many books that they wouldn't fit on 1 page, you know? Next up, I did a monthly tracker, which basically tracked how many books I read each month, and I color-coded each month so that on my 2023 releases spread, I would be able to basically know which book comes out in which month by the color I used. So for example, Happy Place by Emily Henry is written in yellow, so I know that it was released in April. Or like Her Radiant Curse by Elizabeth Lim is written in green, so I knew that it would be released in August. Because in 2022, let's see if I can find the page, here it is. I did it like this, and as you can see, there's a lot of free space that I didn't use because there just weren't any books that I had been looking forward to being released in those months. And other months, like for example August and September, I just didn't have enough space to fit all the books that I was looking forward to. And I felt like this was a huge waste of space. So I wanted to do it differently for 2023, and I actually really liked this, except that it turned out a bit too colorful for my taste. I liked the idea at first, but I feel like it's a bit too much, and there's not even that many books. So I might do this differently next year as well, maybe with like numbers, so like 1 through 12 or something like that. I'll see. This next page is my reading tracker, with which I tracked on which days of the year I read. And as you can see, I read almost every single day last year. Even if it was just 1 page, I read. So I counted that. And I also color-coded this the same way I color-coded this, except that I kind of jumbled up January and February, but that's fine. On this books read in 2023 spread, I drew all of the books that I read in 2023 on this little shelf, which didn't turn out that cute, but it's fine. I also think these 2 pages are a bit too colorful. Like I like the idea in my head of all these colors for every single month, but especially this page is just too colorful, in my opinion. There's just too many colors. And by the way, this also corresponds with these color codes, basically. Now this page I actually really like, because it's my books of the year page, and what I did was that I chose 1 or sometimes 2 favorite book for each month. That does not necessarily mean that the books on here are all favorite books of mine of 2023, but sometimes out of all the books that I read in a specific month, that particular one was just my favorite. In October, of course, my favorite book was The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. Who is surprised? And now on this page, whoopsie, maybe I should put this one there. I did a little book bracket thingy. For this, I basically chose 1 favorite book for each month, which is mostly the books from this page, except that for the months that I chose 2 books on this page, I had to choose a single one for this book bracket, obviously. And then I basically had them compete. I put the months up here and down here randomly, and then I had each of these books compete with each other until I had a winner. And it is The Fragile Threads of Power by Byyee, which honestly, that checks out. Like, that being my favorite book of the year by this book bracket sounds about right. I don't know if I would choose one single favorite book if somebody asked me to, but it being pronounced by this book bracket sounds right. Now let's go on to the next page, and that is my January page, and this washi tape isn't really sticking anymore. That's fine. So this is my January page, and to be honest, basically all of my monthly spreads follow the same kind of design. I've got one page with like a design, and obviously it says the month, and then I've got one page with favorite quotes, stats, and an envelope that is closed up with washi tape. And in this envelope I have written down all of the books that I read that month, and I also added the date on which I have finished them. Just so you know, these favorite quotes are obviously from the books that I read that month, and they're pretty much out of context, especially because I never wrote down which book they're from specifically, but I would still say read at your own risk. Same obviously counts for all the spreads I did on any specific books or series. I don't think they're spoilery, at least I don't remember them being, but still, like, read at your own risk. And for the stats, I always did how many books I read, how many pages I read, on how many days of the month I read, what was my average rating that month, my favorite book, how many books I bought, and a mini wrap-up that's usually just like 1 or 2 sentences. On this page, I added a little spread for how many books I bought in 2023 and which books I bought and in which month I bought them. I ended up buying 45 books last year, which is so much, honestly, but to be fair, some of these were special editions of books I had already read or already owned, so I think it's okay, but I will try to buy less books next year in 2024. This page was empty at the end of the year, so I kind of just put a quote here that I found on Instagram. It says, "There's nothing like the stories that fill you with nostalgia for worlds you've never been to and lives you've never lived." This page is really quite simple, but I actually really like it, to be honest. Also, a lot of inspiration I got for my spreads in this 2023 journal are from Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. Katie is reading, for example, and my camera just died on me, but we're back. Hello. I was just trying to tell you that you should check out Katie's reading, Cassandra Lynn also, and Mandy Journals on Instagram. And also, most of the scrapping paper and crafting paper and pens I use in my journal are just from random stationery shops. Most stickers I use are from either Möhrenkunst shop or random stationery shops. Some of them are from Peppercut Studio and Oakleaf Arrow Studios. So I will try to link those down below if I can still find them, if they're still available. I'll see. Also, that same thing counts for washi tapes. Now this is my February spread with the stats and the fave quotes and of course the books read. I did this a little bit Valentine's Day themed, but I didn't want to do it too on the nose with Valentine's Day, so it's just a bit pinkish, cute, you know? Next up is my March theme. This was especially this thing was heavily inspired by a post I found on Pinterest. I really love these stickers, to be honest. I did mess up with a pen a little bit right here because I washed my hands at some point while doing this spread, and I didn't realize that they were still very, very slightly wet, but they were still wet enough for the pen to smudge a little. So that's very sad, but it is what it is, I guess. Mistakes happen. My next spread, you would have to look at like this first. This spread was actually inspired by the French book covers of This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by Byyee, because they kind of look a bit like this. They've got this look as if like a monster slashed through the cover with its claws, and then you can see a portrait of one of the main characters on each book through these slashes. So that's kind of what I try to do a bit, like it's inspired by that. So this side is basically the spread for This Savage Song, and this side is for Our Dark Duet, and we're gonna look at This Savage Song first. On this side, I got a little mood board, aesthetic kind of pictures I got from Pinterest. And then on this side, I wrote down thoughts and some of my favorite quotes from This Savage Song, the first book in the Monsters of Verity duology, by the way. And then on the other side, I got a little mood board, aesthetic kind of thing for Our Dark Duet, and more thoughts on Our Dark Duet and the Monsters of Verity duology, and loads of quotes from Our Dark Duet. Read at your own risk. I warned you. The next spread is my April spread, and I am actually so incredibly proud of this one. I love this, which was inspired by a Pinterest post, I believe. I love this part, and I love these headings I did, the writing. I'm really happy with this spread. Next up is my May spread, and I like the idea I had right here, but I don't like the execution of it. But it's fine. It's still kind of pretty. And by the way, as you can see, it's always kind of the same design, just a bit mixed up here and there. Now we are on to my Six of Crows spread, which, oh my god, I am so proud of this spread. It took forever. I got these pictures from like Pinterest, and I did this myself. Everything that's written in white right here took forever, because I had to do like 2 coatings at least with this white gel pen, sometimes 3 coatings, and that just, oh my god, it took forever. It was exhausting and frustrating, but I love the way it looks now. I am so happy with it. I'm so proud, and I'm really content with this page. Moving on to my June page. I really like this part down here. Not very happy anymore with this J I tried to do with these strawberry stickers. I tried really hard to make this strawberry and like bee themed, but I don't know. It's okay, I guess. It's not too bad. It could have been better, but it is what it is. You learn from the things you do, right? Now on this next page, I did this mid-year book reading tag. I don't quite remember what it's called. And basically I did it for the middle of the year and then the end of the year. So this I did at the end of June, and this I did at the end of December. It's basically the same questions, just slightly altered for the end of the year. And I just answered them on the same spread basically, so I could kind of see how things might have changed throughout the year, that type of situation. And then I did basically the same thing with stats and a little mini wrap up for the first half of the year and then the second half of the year. And now we're on to my July spread, which I'm also really proud of. I am so proud of this anchor with the July title right here. I'm so happy I managed to do that somehow, honestly. Next up is my August spread, which I used a whole sheet of Peppercut Studio stickers for, and I love these stickers. I love the colors I chose for this spread. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. It looks very, very summery, and I really like the vibes of this spread. Now next up is my September spread, and this looks incredibly random. I know, and I kind of messed up the title right here. It should have been a little more to the left, but like, it is what it is, I guess. I'm still kind of happy with how I did this. It's not my favorite spread, but it's still nice, I think. I still like to look at it. But the next spread is actually one of my favorites. It's my October spread, and I love this frame thingy that I did. It took forever too, with the little ghost and pumpkin stickers and the title heading I did right here and the gold washi tape and everything, and I love this spread a lot. Probably also because I love October a lot, and this is very like autumn spooky themed, and I love this spread a lot. Speaking of love, by the way, this is my The Fragile Threads of Power spread, and I use this scrapbook paper, and I really like the choices I made with the scrapbook paper and the pictures I printed out from Pinterest, and I love the title heading I did up here, and then I wrote down some thoughts in the middle of the page, and I really love this page, even though it's kind of simple actually, but I'm really happy how it turned out. Oops, no, that's too far. Now this is my November spread, and with this spread I basically just wanted to try out some new pens I had bought, and I did that very successfully. But that doesn't mean that I like this page very much, because first of all, like, what is this? And like, what is this? And what is that? There's a lot of what is this on this page. I do like this part and the November title that I did, but the other things, not so sure anymore. Now we're already onto my December spread, and for this title, this was actually inspired by the title design of a horror game, a video game, which is called How to Build a Snowman, I believe. And I just really like the idea of putting a little snowman into a letter. So I did that with the Byyee right there. I like the washi tape I chose for this. It's very glittery, Christmassy. And I also like that I tried to do the letters for fave quotes and stats as like little Christmas lights. I don't know if you can see that, but I hope you can. And I'm quite happy with this spread actually. Now what's next? My books read in 2023. This spread is actually just all of the book covers of the books that I read in 2023, printed out and then glued on here in this way, and then it goes on here. And then I put my star rating below the covers, and I really like this spread. It's just really nice to look at all the books that I read last year on this one spread. There's actually another page for this, but like, this looks very satisfying in my opinion. So this is the third page for the books read in 2023. There's a lot of space left here because I just didn't read more books. This spread was honestly a pain in the ass. I wanted to print out all of the book covers of the book club picks that I read last year and then like color coded by the 3 book clubs I was in last year. And I messed up quite a lot. I messed up with the frame for these 2, and I think some of these covers are a little smaller than the others. I'm not quite sure though. It was a bit difficult to like space these out evenly and stuff like that, but I think for all the struggle that I had with this page, it turned out rather fine. Now on to the next page. This one is my page for the Rangers Apprentice Readathon hosted by Cassandra Lynn and her friend Rosalie that I participated in last year. We only started in February, so there's no month missing here. And I just printed out all the covers of the Rangers Apprentice books that we read throughout the year. And then I used some stickers by Oakleaf Arrow Studios for this spread. This page was just empty at the end of the year, so I also added another quote. It says, "Each time you open a book and read it, a tree smiles knowing there's life after death." And honestly, this quote makes me so emotional. It's crazy. I also really like the design that I did here, except for the part where my pen just gave up on me while trying to color this in, and that's why it kind of looks weird. But it is what it is. Once again, I still really like this page though. And I also think it goes really well with this Rangers Apprentice spread. And now we're already on to my last spread that I did for my 2023 reading journal. And that is this spread for the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. On this page, this was actually inspired by Katie is Reading. I basically just looked up a bunch of pictures on Pinterest that I thought gave off the vibes that the Shepherd King duology gives off. The first book is called One Dark Window and the second book is Two Twisted Crowns. This one is actually a quote from the books, "Be wary, be clever, be good." And I basically put them on here like a Pinterest board, and then on this page I wrote down a bunch of thoughts I had on those 2 books. And I'm actually really happy how this spread turned out. I really like looking at this. I can't quite explain why, but I just really like this. So that was the last spread of my 2023 reading journal. I really hope you enjoyed watching me flip through my 2023 reading journal, and maybe you took away some inspiration from my spreads. That would honestly make me quite happy, because I know how lovely it is to take away some inspiration from other YouTubers or people on Instagram. Other than that, I thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet or in my next video. Bye!